Alright, so if I were to dual strike my Invigorating Surge, we add one counter that puts it to 3, then double that puts it to 6, then add one counter puts it to 7, then double that puts it to 14. 14 counters. I think that's enough. We're gonna try. We're gonna see how it fares. Wow, they're gonna let it happen. Well, all right, we're gonna put you down to 2 life then, Bobby. I know their name's not actually Bobby, it's FCHR, but no, I chose different ones. Why would it separate my Shambler that I chose to the left?
Counters equal X plus 4 times 4 plus 4 times 2?
What? You lost me.
It's easy. Counters equal plus 4 times 4 plus 4 times 2.
What's up, everybody? Are you ready to counter the counters and counter them some more? That's right, we're going for exponential counters today, ladies and gentlemen, where we basically double our counters and double them and double them and double them and double them again and again and again. But the thing is, we're not just going to be exponentially doubling our counters. We're going to be double exponentially doubling our counters. We're going to be doubling. In other words, we're going to be multiplying them by 4, right? So how are we going to be doing this, and in what manner of efficiency? Well, fairly efficient and, well, pretty awesome manner, if I do say so myself. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Naya VORINCLEX Invigorating Surge Conclave Mentor Dual Strike combo to showcase. So the way this deck works is you have Conclave Mentor, you have Dual Strike that you're obviously trying to get down relatively early, turn 2, turn 3, somewhere in that ballpark. You have Invigorating Surge for 3 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature. So there we have our first instance of doubling. Now, Conclave Mentor, I know a lot of people are saying, Chance, that doesn't technically double your counters, that's just adding an additional counter anytime you would add a single counter. And I say, I know, you're a smart bean, you've been paying attention. But we also have VORINCLEX Monstrous Raider in the deck, which again reads, if you would put one or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice that many of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead, which means when we double the amount of counters that we're going to put onto our creature, we double that number again. So the idea here is, and we'll actually get into some pretty freaking fantastic numbers here just with these 4 cards. So let's say theoretically your creature has 0 counters on them, absolutely none. And you have your Conclave Mentor down, you slam a jam at your VORINCLEX, next turn you untap and you have your mana readily available. What do? You go to swing in, instant speed, you have a Dual Strike available, use your Invigorating Surge. Now again, this is assuming you have a creature with 0 counters on it, alright? 0 base start. You use Invigorating Surge, or use Dual Strike first, then you use Invigorating Surge. That first proc, put 1/1/+1 counter. The Conclave Mentor is going to make it to you put 2, and the VORINCLEX is going to double that 2, so you put 4. So now that creature, let's say a VORINCLEX is 6/6, is now a 10/10, right? 4/1/+1 counters on it. Now we're going to double that number, so doubling 4 is going to hit 8. However, VORINCLEX also doubles that, so instead of 8, we're going to put 16. So now we have the original 4 counters that we added, and then doubled 16. So now we're at somewhere around like 20 counters. So now we have a 26 power and toughness creature on the board with 20 +1/+1 counters. However, because we just used Dual Strike, and I may have actually missed a counter in there with Conclave Mentor, I think it might add one more when Invigorating Surge goes to add those the doubled counters, so it might be at 27, not quite sure. But then you Dual Strike it, right? So you're going to do this again. So Invigorating Surge, let's just say it was 26. Now we add another one, 27, which means there's 21 counters on your VORINCLEX, right? But you also have the Conclave Mentor, so you add 2 and double it, so you're adding 4. So instead of 20, you're now at 24 counters, right? And then you double that again, and then double that again. So instead of 24 counters of adding on back onto your creature, and instead of 48, it'll be times 4. So 24 times 4 is like 96, I think. So 96 counters onto your what was a 30/30 creature is now like a 120 power creature. right? And of course it has trample and haste, so it's just balling out of control, swinging in and destroying your opponent essentially in a single fell swoop. Now, it sounds like a lot of damage and it sounds like it'd be really complicated, but in all reality, all you're doing is playing Conclave, playing VORINCLEX, and then playing these 2 cards, which it's 5 mana, so you can afford that if you can afford your VORINCLEX, and if you can manage to foretell this and you have these 2, you're only spending 4 mana to do it on turn 6, which means you also still have mana for a Snake Skin Veil. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, it gains hexproof until end of turn, which means you can actually protect your VORINCLEX, protect your Conclave Mentor, and get the combo off. Now, all that being said and out of the way, that is only one piece of this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful deck, right? That is only the big coup de grace, the big spill your beans kind of thing. Outside of that, we still have a lot of really cool interactions. So we are playing 2 copies of the Ozlith, so just in case your opponent still manages some way to take out your big 120 counter creature, you're not going to lose all those counters. You can just re-put them on something else come next turn, right? Like I mentioned, we have the Snakeskin Veil, 1 mana instant speed. You can give hexproof to a creature and keep it alive. Swarm Shamblers, not only are they good at building counters up on themselves, they're also going to give you a 1/1 insect token creature every time someone targets a creature with a counter on it, which of course is every creature in your deck for the most part, right? Stone Cool, you can sink all your mana into it, and it's just going to have counters galore, which means when you go to play the Invigorating Surge on it, however big it is however big it's going to add to itself, right? Wildwood, we all know, is a fun card. If you can get Bosri Solidarity down with Wildwood and have a Conclave down, well, then you just pretty much win. And let's not to mention, again, if you have VORINCLEX while having all that down, Wildwood is going to be so freaking huge that the opponent's not even going to be able to fathom what's going on. Bosri Solidarity helps you to build up, and this can really allow you to win the games off the back of these little 1/1 insect creature tokens alone, because again, you use Bosri's and you have a Conclave, or you have a VORINCLEX, or you have both, then you're turning these little 1/1s into either 3/3s or, you know, 2/2s, or however big basically you can afford, right? Luminarch, really good at building up a single creature, and then you protect that creature with Snakeskin. Invigorating is the main combo piece, but if you can't happen to hit an Invigorating and Dual Strike combo, maybe you can hit a Hydra's, and well, that is going to allow you to double every single turn as well, right? Vastwood to help you find some lands in those rare situations where you're just not able to find enough to get to VORINCLEX. We've all had those games where we got screwed at 4 and we're like, if I could just find 2 more mana. So find that 2 more mana. Also, not to mention the fact that if you use Vastwood's Surge and you dual strike it, then you can find 4 lands and now send yourself from 4 mana up to 8 mana, which is almost enough to just hard cast Great Henge and put you sort of on track for getting ahead, right? We have 1 copy of Gem Razor. If you're playing this deck more so competitively, right, you want to take it under rank, I recommend adding maybe another copy of Gem Razor. This is a great card at taking out artifacts and enchantments, which are very prevalent in the meta right now, right? Outside of that, we have 2 copies of VORINCLEX and 2 copies of the Great Henge, because again, putting +1/+1 counters, gaining life, and drawing cards off of creatures entering the battlefield is just beautiful. So that's going to do it for the deck tech breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, we are not just exponentially gaining counters here, we are doubling our exponential growth, which is really insane, right? Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the deck tech breakdown. If so, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section, share it out with a friend if you've been enjoying these intros that I've spent a little bit longer crafting, perfecting, and inserting, so to speak, into the videos. All that being said and out of the way, I hope you watch all the way to the end to get the most out of the video. Also, there is a secret code at the end of the video, so if you do watch all the way to the end, there is a special little reward for you, right? Anyways, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the video, or in the matches. I'll see you in the gameplay. I just don't like the lands here. But we can draw better, right? We can always draw better lands. I believe in us. And I don't think you need specifically red mana to foretell the dual strike. So turn 2, we can go ahead and foretell that and get it out the way. Two dual strikes, okay, all right, sure. Not really what we're looking for, but you know, I won't be opposed if we can double buff the Invigorating Surge, double it. Skimfar Avenger, still no mana. Alright, well, you know, we're foretelling. We are foretelling. Looking for land. Looking for some land. Spare a sentinel. Sure, sure. Still looking for land. Still looking for land. I could also have gotten down Wildwood Scourge, I suppose. At this point, it's just, it's just can we find it before the opponent has absolutely dominated us? Thank goodness I didn't get that VORINCLEX. Am I right? Anyways, let's activate the Swarm Shambler. We're still looking for land. Well, we found it. We did find thy land. All right, well, I think we got to do this here and take out their, whatchamacallit. Yeah, that Herald unites the elves. Now we got a big old 6/6 with trample. We can start punching through if we want to. But at the same time, I'm trying to double those counters on it. So maybe we don't. Anyways, if we can find some red mana, I could dual strike the Invigorating Surge and just get that out, which isn't nearly as fun as all the other stuff. But, you know, getting that down at instant speed on a creature with trample would allow us to do what? Put it to 3 counters, double those to 6, put 1, makes it 7, double it again, puts it to 14 counters, which would be an 18/18. Still not big enough to take out the foe, but would be nice nonetheless. But instead, we're gonna draw another dual strike. We're gonna draw another dual strike. Okay. Well, still looking for that land, that mystical, magical, mythical, missing land. I guess on the bright side, we can keep building our Gem Razor ever so slightly. So that 4/4 on the Indestructible doesn't really matter because we got a 6/6 to defend it, so a little awkward. And if they send anything else, then I'll just let the 4 go through and just take out the other stuff, right? Unless it's just 2 damage, in which case block the 4. Alright, well, let's take out the Skimfar Avenger. Oh, snap. I forgot about the Wildwood Beetle to take out a Sentinel. No! I'm sorry, everybody. So they're going to draw a few cards here. Oh, we're finding more land. We still can't use it, but we're finding it. Oh me, oh me, oh me, oh my. So if I punch through here, they have 4 defenses, but they will need to defend. Oh no, they could defend with 3. It would take that plus that, or those 2 plus that. So no matter what, I'm getting at least 2 units here. So go for it. Go, Gem Razor. They're gonna take the damage. Alrighty, well, cool beans then. Taking out the Garruk. We need some more mana. Or to stop drawing so many goddamn dual strikes. I feel like this is the game laughing at us from our previous deck. It's like, you remember that game 2 games ago and you're like, man, I wish I could find a dual strike. Here you go, Chance. There you go, buddy. Magic is like the lamest friend you'll ever have. It's fun sometimes, but only sometimes. And every time it's not, it's offering you stuff you don't want and you feel kind of bad to say no. Alrighty, create your Elvish army. I don't care. I'm here for one purpose, and that is the dual strike and invigorating surge. Now, if I could somehow draw 3 red mana in one single turn, boy howdy, I would be happy. But I don't think that's going to happen. So they're, again, going to swing all in. This time, though, I'll be a smart lad. I'll block. I'll know that I can block. So, actually, I shouldn't even block you, because realistically, you're indestructible. There is no destroying you, Senor Squirrel. We can take out these other ones, right? All right, one of these days. One of these days. So they're gonna draw tons of cards here. It's fine. Because also have blocked the. Oh, that's right. That's right, Misen. Should have blocked with the Swambler. Should have blocked with the Swarm Shambler and then tapped that instead of tapping the Gem Razor. On our previous blocking, not this blocking, the previous one. Anyways, you're gonna tell me you have that many cards in hand and you can't play a single one? Come on. At this point, it's just painful. The opponent has 7 lands. I'm sitting at 4. What is a man to do? What is a man to do? So I could swing it with Swarm Shambler here, try to double the counters. Puts 1, makes it 4, double that. 8, 8 on 4 is 12. Still not enough though. So we'll just go for the swing here. We'll put them down to 10 life. So if we could potentially swing in next turn and they don't block, then we'll get them. Despite us having severely lacked land this game. Wildborn is the most troublesome thing we could probably see here. All right. Well, show me what you got, since you have no problem drawing lands. I know they've been drawing accelerated amounts of cards, but still. I would think I could find more than 4 out of our top 13. And certainly ones that would be different colors. But hey, you know, Murphy's Law and whatnot does say that we have the possibility of drawing nothing but Force and Castle Garen Briggs, even though there's only 5 of these total things in our deck. So we've drawn 4 out of the 5 of what we could have drawn for quite possibly the worst land mana management there is. Literally almost the worst. The only thing that would be worse than this is if next turn we draw that 3rd forest, right? If we can make it to next turn. I mean, hell, they got a VORINCLEX and 8/8, a ton of creatures on the board, and I'm at 9 health. Yeah, I mean, it was fun, sorta, when I got to play Magic. The Koala. We'll keep this hand because, looky here, we have 3 lands. Count them, ladies and gentlemen. Uno, dos, tres in hand. Oh, this is it. This is our big break. We better not lose it to rogues. You better not be playing rogues. Nope. They're gonna be playing adventures. Are you sure you want to adventure? See what I did there? We're not going to worry about attacking. I know we could swing it with Swarm Shambler, and more than likely, like 70% chance, they're not going to defend with Edgewall, so it would have been fine, but... Fabled, 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 fabled passage. Now, what are we going to go for here? We can either try and get down the Wildwood or go for the Dual Strike Foretelling. I think I would prefer the Wildwood. I think they're going to try and remove my Swarm Shambler in the near future, like with a Bone Crusher, like soon. Or maybe they go for Conclave, actually. What I'm sorry, Swarm Shambler. Yeah, Swarm Shambler. That's the one they're worried about, Chance. No, I think they're going to try and remove Conclave Mentor sooner rather than later through the Bone Crushering methods. You so good, Koala. You so unpredictable. Giant Killer to tap our Wildwood into Oblivion. Hey, VORINCLEX, that could come in handy if we could potentially just maybe might so get to 6 mana. I know it's a bit of a reach. It's a stretch of ways, if I'm being honest, but we could do it. We could do it, I believe. Bam! Now, building the Swarm Shambler is going to continue to build the Wildwood, which does put us closer to the Great Hinge, which is nice. So we might actually get to do something this game. We might actually get to play some Magic. What? Alright, Bone Crusher coming down for the foe. They're playing standard boring Naya adventures. I'm guessing they have Showdown and a Great Hinge and blah 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 blah. Let's go for more red mana. You never know when you're gonna find that other dual strike and just be like, boy howdy, I wish I had, you know, blank. Any hoosers, we're going to leave the Wildwood alone because we have the Great Hinge available to come down on the next turn. If we can get Great Hinge into the VORINCLEX, well, we all know that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it looks like we're going to, because I don't think in any way, shape, form, or manner they can use this Showdown to get rid of our Wildwood, right? Oh, no. They could play some white mana potentially and then use Shepherd to bounce our Wildwood. That would work. That would work. Oh, no, because it's only return target permanent you control. Right, Arena. Okay. So yeah, we just drop this, right? Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Unleash Fury. I mean, at least you're playing something cool. At least you're playing something kind of cool. So Swarm Shambler's now to the point where we can start defending with it, and knowing they have an Unleash Fury, we should probably keep some defenders back, you know? Just in case. We don't quite have the VORINCLEX down to stop their +1/+1 counters from the Showdown and all that kind of stuff, so. I mean, they may just go for a Unleash Fury Embercleave here, but that wouldn't kill us, would it? Like 8, 9, 18, and they're swinging in with that? No, it wouldn't kill us. Oh, well, no, because it would add +1/+1 counters, so it would be 6, 12, 13. I don't think they have it though, right? Because it's gonna be 3 mana, and they would definitely want to use Unleash Fury alongside it. They just played their land, so yeah. Giant Killer. It's just gonna destroy you, so that's fine. Tis fine. Giant Killer comes down. Alright, put the +1, sure, on the Shepherd. Whatever tickles your fancy. Whatever your fancy desires, go ahead and tickle it for me. Alrighty, I think that should be it for their turn. So let's go ahead and gain the life, put the counter onto the Swarm Shambler. I guess we can throw this down as green. So we can go VORINCLEX, but we'll be 1 off of the Hydra's growth, which, man, I wish I could do that. That's okay. VORINCLEX, come down, draw me a card. Get an 8/8 on the board. Well, I mean, sure, Ozolith isn't bad. You can be tapped with any color, so sure. Drop an Ozolith. Now, if I tap you, you go up to 6/6, which is big enough to block the Bone Crusher there. VORINCLEX 8/8. That's big enough to hit, right? They have 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, VORINCLEX is big enough to hit. Now that Giant Killer on their side is going to allow them to tap our creatures here sooner rather than later. So wishing you good luck. Yeah, it's. I don't really want to get into the details of it, but yes, things are all right. It's just I didn't have any. I haven't had any time here recently to get any backup footage, like to just stream and play extra and do my thing here. Yeah, so it's definitely Embercleave, which makes that 13. Let me just make your job easier. Why don't I, Koala? Make your job a little bit easier, buddy. There's Unleash Fury. Are they going to Unleash Fury again? Because that could do it. No, it's going to deal a lot of damage. Okay, I got you. Drew Blez is gonna be our next foe. Hey, look at that, I have 2 lands again. Boy howdy, am I getting ever so used to seeing that. We're gonna keep this hand. Why? Because I mean, Murphy's Law says eventually one of these games we'll have 2 lands, and then we'll do the profound thing in Magic where we draw lands. Where we draw lands on curve. Where we play Magic cards down 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, as if we knew how to fucking count. It would be amazing. It would honestly be revolutionizing to see that happen. We're going to go for the Fabled Passage turn 1 here. Grab green mana, go for the Needle Leverage, or rather Pillar Verge pathway on the next turn. That way we can drop Ozolith and Swarm Shambler as a 1-2 sort of combo. So let's go ahead and activate the Fabled here. You know, people want to get mad about Tybalt's trickery, like, oh, how could you do this? How could you put 40 lands in a deck and then just use, you know, trickery and, you know, this boring stuff, quote unquote. And then you play 1 game of Magic where you draw only 2 lands all game long, and you're like, oh, okay, I get you. I get it now. The point is not to worry about lands in any fucking regard, because you're either gonna have them or you're not. But just find some way to play the cards that you can within them. So today, we're not gonna draw lands, ladies and gentlemen. We might as well go play all aggro decks, because that's what we're setting ourselves up for here. Why did it just pass to my attack phase there? I didn't even get to play anything. Can I play something? Alright. Thanks, Magic. What was that about? Did I hit the next turn thing? Am I going crazy? I've never seen that bug before. So hell, maybe I hit next step and I just don't remember it. Thoroughly confused. Anyways, opponent's going to use Thirst for Meaning, draw 3 cards, discard an enchantment more than likely, because they seem like an enchant me kind of deck, right? What's a good name for the enchantment players? They seem like they would be, for some reason I only started thinking about friends' names, you know, like Ross Chandler, that kind of stuff. They would definitely be a Ross if it was that kind of thing. So we can use Invigorating Surge, put 2, makes it to 5, double, puts it to 10. Hey, that's not bad for a Swarm Shambler Reno. But I kind of want to go you for 1, and then play Basri Solidarity. I think that's better, right? Even if it's not, it's more counters, so it's more fun in that manner. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll be very surprised if the opponent doesn't have the board wipe here for us. I'll also be very happy. You don't want to have a Shatter. You don't want to have a Doomscar. Oh, it can only be Shatter actually because I don't have any Foretell. So yeah, no Shatter, no Shatter, no Shatters. Huh? Archon, beautiful. That's not a Shatter. Another Conclave, that's not a land. If you thought we were gonna get to play 4 lands by turn 5, is this turn 6 actually? Because we got to go first, didn't we? If you thought we were gonna play 4 lands by turn 6, you got another thing coming. We got a 50% land draw on the opposite end this time. That's fun. It's cool. As the kids would say nowadays, it's cool. It's chill, bro. Wow, they just signed themselves up for suicide with that one. All right, well, cool, I'll take it. GG, Drew Blez. Anyways, FCHR, we're going to keep this hand mostly because we have 3 lands in hand, and we have the Invigorating and Dual Strike, which means we only need a few other cards to really make this dream a reality, am I right? We are so close. We just need a VORINCLEX, maybe a little Conclave Mentor action. We do have the Snakeskin Veil. We might want to save enough mana to make sure we can protect our stuff come later. I don't think I'm too worried about it right now. I think we're just going to stick with, you know, foretell our stuff over, maybe have Swarm Shambler ding them up a little bit, right? But we should definitely keep an eye on Snakeskin Veil for later when we go to use our Dual Strike and Invigorating Surge, right? Like, make sure we leave some green mana available. That is, of course, if we ever see any more green mana, because if we don't ever see any more, well, we just don't get to have it. I don't think we should blast off a Bozzy Solidarity here necessarily, given we can boost these Swarm Shamblers on their own, right? Which doesn't seem necessary, right? And if I was going to, I think I would Dual Strike it so we can at least get a little more value out of it. But anyways, opponent's going for the Dryad. Another Dual Strike. Wow. It's funny. I thought for a second, for one whole fucking minute that we were going to draw normal lands. It was like, oh, we just maybe, just maybe. But no. No. That would be crazy. That would be fucking crazy. 3 lands, that's what we're dealing with this game, ladies and gents. On the bright side, though, it does leave us enough mana to use Invigorating eventually, and Bozries and Snakeskin, so we can kind of play our entire deck just with 3 mana, which is not necessarily a goal that I have, but sure. Ho ho! Ho 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 ho! We hit a 4th. Holy freak. I was going to say something bad, but I think I'll just keep it to freak. Alright, so if I were to Dual Strike my Invigorating Surge, we add 1 counter, that puts it to 3, then double, that puts it to 6, then add 1 counter, puts it to 7, then double, that puts it to 14. 14 counters. I think that's enough. We're going to try. We're going to see how it fares. You know, wow, they're going to let it happen. Well, all right, we're going to put you down to 2 life then, Bobby. I know their name's not actually Bobby, it's FCHR. But, no, I chose different ones. Why would it separate my Shambler that I chose to the left? It always separates to the right. Always separates to the right. Well, on the bright side, we didn't throw all that into one creature and then them just binding it into oblivion. Even when I get to play the decks, rather, I don't play them correctly. All right. So I have to smash, right? 'Cause if I don't, they just get to gain that life back, and that's no good. Tis no good. And why wouldn't they have binding on turn 4? You know, it's not that hard to find 4 lands in a... Oh no, wait. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is actually extremely difficult to find 4 lands in a row. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Good game. Good game, FCHR. All your decks are bad. Just out the gate. Let me let you know that all your decks suck. Well, we're starting with 2 lands again, and boy, am I ever so fucking worried about it. But we got the Ozolith. We're gonna drop that right out the bat. And again, fingers crossed that we can draw some amount of lands. Now we do have the Vastwood Surge in our starting hand here, so I have a little bit more faith in this game here than as opposed to last. We also have the Fabled Passage, so we know no matter what, I'm not only going to be stuck with green lands, because I will not let that happen. We're going to go ahead and grab some red mana with the Fabled right off the rip. I don't really mind if it lowers our playability with other cards, right? We want that red mana for sure. Opponent's playing some kind of Selesnya counters deck as well. Could be Abzan food, I suppose, but not seeing the Yorion is a pretty good indication that that's not what it's about. There's Solidarity. Not really what we wanted to see, but whatever. Looking for some lands. I just want to hit my lands on curve for one game in a row. Cultivate coming down from the foe, and they're just rubbing our faces in it. You like to play lands? You like to play lands, Chance? Do you? Turn 5, 2 lands. It's what, 12 cards we've looked at? Well, that's a fun one. I like looking at cards and not actually getting value out of them. Sort of run-of-the-mill stuff for us here. Alright, well, turn 6, you still only have 2 lands. I'm sorry, but you're not gonna Spudwinkle. We're starting with 2 lands. We're gonna keep it because I'm not gonna ever mulligan in Magic again, more than likely. Every time I mulligan, I just end up more upset than previously, right? And most of all, we have the Dual Strike Invigorating Surge already in hand, which means we literally just have to get there. We just have to get there. And of course, a Conclave Mentor would be nice. Okay. All right. Well, hold up. While I'm rubbing this magic lamp, while I'm at it, I want more lands. I want the opponents to not play anything. I want a VORINCLEX, and I want a Great Hinge. Thank you, game. I'll take that all next turn, if you would so kindly. Alright, so we're going to grab some white mana so that way we can get down the Conclave / Luminarch, right? I think that's a little more important than the Dual Strike. So, yeah, all we need now is to find some lands. Just find some lands. Just find some lands. We're gonna go ahead and foretell the Dual Strike. I know we don't have the mana for it yet, but I don't really want to commit more to this board without having the mana to use Snakeskin Veil, and without any additional mana, well, we don't have that. So, yeah. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we hit a Fabled, which means we're going to grab the Mountain, and we're going to be set sort of perfectly and imperfectly for ourselves here. I think I do need to commit a creature to the board, so I think I'm going to go for the Luminarch and just have it put a counter on itself. And this way, if it procs, you know, we get tons of creatures from the Swarm Shamblers if they try and take out Luminarch, right? It lives! Let's go! Now I just need some land. Now I just need some land. Oh ho, oh ho, oh ho. Hitting them for 5. We could Invigorating Surge here, but again, that's not going to be lethal. If the opponent doesn't end up getting to play anything and I'm just sitting here playing with myself all game, that sounds about right. Magic Alonso. We got 3 in our starting hand. They're pathways. The only thing we're actually missing is our combo cards. And I can deal with not having those necessarily. I can deal with. So let's go ahead and get down the white mana for the Pillar Verge, because I'm fairly sure I want green from the Branch Loft, and that way we can go... Am I going for the Wildwood, or am I going for the Luminarch? I guess we can go ahead and get down a Wildwood. Excuse me, everybody. So what are we looking for here? More lands is not a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing, at least. So we go Swarm Shambler and Luminarch. Of course, Luminarch's going to put the counter on itself, and that way, again, Swarm Shambler can proc for any of these 3 if they go to target or select them. Now what I really want to find is my dual strike so I can foretell it and get it over there ready to play onto the invigorating. But of course beggars can't be choosers, and so let's go. Let's freaking go. So we're setting ourselves up very, very beautifully here. This is 13. Next turn, we have the Dual Strike Invigorating Surge, which we don't necessarily need, given we've already gained so many counters and we didn't ever find the Conclave Mentor. But I will take the fact that we had normal land draws this game, we had normal creature draws, we had normal spell draws this game. The Dual Strike was kind of pog, I'll give myself that, but yeah, even with Extinction, we should be fine. Bam! And I didn't use the Invigorating the combo or whatever because we're right here in the end, so like, you know, don't do that to your foe.